I went to the New York City Drone Film Festival.
This one is R7, and no one is on R1. Where's R1? We have a pilot broadcasting on.
It was really cool. They had a couple vendors. They were showing some new hardware off. But ultimately, I kind of went thinking that I could fly my tiny whoop there, and then found out you have to like be somehow pre-registered to even be part of it. So anyway, we left that. I said, okay, got the big quads with us. How are we going to make up for the day? We're going to find a place to fly and rip a couple packs and, just get it out of our system. So found a place, get there, take off. I get maybe like 50 feet and I fail safe. And it was really, I was just trying to think of like what could possibly be wrong with this thing, because I just recently, refurbished them. The frames are kind of old, but the motors are good. Like everything has been kind of reworked in it, and because I don't have a lot of money for this, and so I ended up putting the antenna. This is a new receiver. I put it on the front this time. I was like, okay, I'll mount it in the front. I'll mount it straight up here, and I'll have one coming out the front here. And then on the other one, typically I have them mounted where it comes out the back like this. But I was like, you know what? Every time I crash, I cut it. I think literally the last like 2-3 times I flew, I ended up cutting the antenna off and cutting my flight short also. So it's like, okay, let me try putting it straight out the back, up like this, try 2 different things. Maybe it'll work better. It worked worse. It was terrible. I couldn't even fly. And then I got me thinking, and I was like, oh, you know what? I changed my antenna a couple weeks ago in the Tyrannus. So I was like, okay, it must be that. So I cracked it open, and I went to go. So by the way, I don't know if any of you have seen what the inside of the Tyrannus looks like. If you look inside, there's like the antenna mounts to the board directly with the solder point. And it's almost like a tiny whoop antenna. And I was like, okay, I guess I could have done a better job soldering. So I go to solder it, and the pad just like lifts right off the board, toast. And the unfortunate thing about the X9D Plus is if you destroy that solder point on the board, there's no other place to like connect it. So you gotta change the whole backboard, which is like $50-$60. And it's like, Jesus, like this is a $4 antenna I got, and now I'm spending, another $60. And, extra for air shipping so it actually gets here within a month. And I was just like, damn, I'm tired of bumping into this issue, especially with FR Sky, with these crappy little antennas. I was just like, I've been thinking about Crossfire for a long time. And I know everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people in the industry they've changed over to Crossfire. I was like, I think it's time. So I ordered a Crossfire, and it's coming today. And I got the Immortal T version 2 antennas coming. And I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to mount it. And we're going to mount it right the first time. Okay, so we're going to get our Crossfire installed now. First things first, this is the Crossfire that I'm going to be using. It is the light version, so there's a $200 version, this is the $150 version, and then there's the micro, which doesn't even have a screen or anything. So I opted for the middle, figured it was probably best for me. The difference between this and the most expensive version is the light doesn't have Bluetooth, and I don't need Bluetooth. I'm not going to use it with my phone. I know I'm happy with the little knob on the back, a little joystick going through that. And then the difference between this and the micro is the micro, I'm generalizing, but the micro doesn't have a screen and you do everything through Lua scripts, which is basically through the transmitter. Okay, so first things first, we're going to update the Crossfire. So we're going to search for the TBS agent and grab it from the Team Black Sheep website. And you're going to want to scroll down and go to whichever version you have. I have Mac, and we're going to download. Okay, so this is ready. Okay, so we're going to drag it into our applications. Love that sound. I'm just going to plug in this little guy. Okay, so 2 things are happening. 1, it turned on my Crossfire. 2, it brought up my firmware. So you got the current version. Just a quick correction. I realized that was on version 2.4.1, which was currently installed, and I should have updated to 2.88. I have now updated to 2.88 and updated my receiver accordingly. Okay, so now that our Crossfire is updated, you're going to want to disconnect it from the computer, and we're going to peel off the sticky tape here. Like so. Gonna line it up real nice. So you want it with the wire facing down. 4 holes. And it should go in pretty smooth. There we go. I just like to hold it for, I don't know, 30 seconds. So now we got a one-piecer, right? Okay. Now you're gonna wanna take these 2 cables and connect them. So what do you connect them to? So the larger connection goes into the expansion port, and the smaller connection goes into the RC input. Now on the back of the Tyrannus, you're gonna wanna pop off your expansion port, take your Crossfire, make sure it lines up with the pins, and it should snap right in. Screw your antenna on. So you'll notice that the unit's not turned on, and the reason why, I'll show you. I'm gonna go into profile 2. You're gonna hit page. You wanna go down, and you're gonna wanna turn off your internal RF, because we're switching from the main antenna to the Crossfire. So we're going to turn our external RF on. And you're going to want to go up to CRSF. So you hit enter, you hit exit and exit. And now the Crossfire should be powered up, which it is. With our quad powered on, we're going to go back to the Tyrannus. We're going to hold in the button for a second. That's going to bring us to the menu, and I know I don't have the ideal lens set up here, but if you go down 2 options to bind and select it, it'll start binding. So now it's asking, do we want to update the micro RX? Do we want to? Yeah, we have to update the receiver. Do not interrupt the process. Okay, go. And it takes about probably 30 seconds for it to update. Your green light on the receiver will go from like blinking a bunch to solid. Okay, and we're going to wait. It says receiver is updating itself with a new version. Don't shut down. The green light on the receiver blinks really fast. Okay, and now we're back. And now we're connected. So that's going to conclude my setup tutorial for the new Crossfire. I know I skipped setting up a receiver and configuring it in Betaflight. I figure there's a lot of videos out there already doing it. I don't know that this is something that people want to see or not. But if you like the video, I appreciate a like. And if you have thoughts and comments, please drop them in the place below. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time.